Okay, let's move into the second segment, okay? Let's move into the second segment, all right? So, the second segment is trustee. So now, the second segment is trustee. Now, I wanted to be fair, okay? A heathen can be anybody. Now, also, a righteous person. Now, remember, none of us are righteous, but we get reconciled righteous. We get reconciled unto righteousness. How? By being a trustee of Christ. That's how we do it. So I'm not going to give any of those scriptures. Why? Because I've been giving those scriptures over and over again. Christ is the light. What did he say? I am the way, the truth, and the life. And nobody gets into the kingdom but through me. Right? No, I didn't butcher it. I knew what I said. Okay? No one becomes righteous but through Christ. Why? Because only Christ is righteousness. So, to become reconciled to righteousness, right, you have to be a trustee. Now, I'm going to give two examples of people from other nations. People from other nations. These people were not Israelites that were righteous and that got reconciled to righteousness because they were trustees. And these two people are more righteous or reconciled back to righteousness more than a lot of you niggas today. Let's go to Ezra, and we're going to go to chapter 1. And we're going to read 1 through 3. Ezra, chapter 1, 1 through 3. Ezra, chapter 1, 1 through 3. Ezra, chapter 1, 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3. And it says, now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, not king of the Israelites, king of Persia, this man was a Gentile. Now, was he a heathen? So, see, this is why I say they're not always interchangeable, heathen and Gentile. So, yes, he was a Gentile, meaning he wasn't an Israelite, he wasn't a Jew. But he wasn't a heathen. Okay? Here's why. Now, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, not Israel, that the word of Yahuwah by mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled. Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia. Yahuwah stirred up the spirit. See, everything is done by Christ. He stirred up the spirit in Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it, where I say, and put it also in writing, saying, thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahuwah, God of heaven, hath given me all the kingdom. So Christ gave Cyrus the king all the nations, all the kingdoms of the earth. Not all the nations, all the kingdoms. So pretty much everything. All the kingdoms of the earth. And he hath charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? Who is there among you of all his people, His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem. Now, this is pretty deep, and I want y'all to understand what's going on here. So, I want to give an example of the Pharaoh of the Old Testament that you all know about, the story of the Ten Commandments. You all know about the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh was a very stubborn man. Pharaoh was so stubborn that what Christ did was he took the already stubbornness, the already stiff-neckedness of the Pharaoh and hardened his heart even more. See, that's what Christ will do. Many of you don't believe that this is happening because many of you are so evil and so wicked that you don't know that your stubbornness is because Yah is feeding off of your stubbornness. See, you are accountable for your own actions to a certain degree. And when you choose to continue in your heathenism, Yah is going to take your heart and mind and your heart and soul, your mind and soul, your labab, your heart, and make it harder so that you can continue in your sturdiness against the desire of Elohim. That's what he does. That's what he did to the Pharaoh. But it could also work vice versa. So if you're somebody that you have a good loving heart, right, and you are out for justice, you're out for the good of your people, right, and for other people. See, let me tell you what Yah did with King Cyrus. He gave him the earth. He made Cyrus king of the earth. It just said it right here. He gave Cyrus all the kingdoms of earth. That word land is interchangeable with Harat's earth, the entire earth. He gave Cyrus the whole planet. But he told Cyrus to build, but not Jerusalem. He gave him everything else, but not Jerusalem. Why? Because Jerusalem belonged to our ancestors, belonged to us. So he told Cyrus, look, you can have everything else, because why? Because you're a righteous king. But you're not an Israelite, but you're a righteous king. You're a Gentile, you're a righteous Gentile, but you're not a heathen. You believe in me. You're my trustee. Even though you're of another nation, you're still my trustee. But I tell you what, you got everything. The planet is yours. But you just have to build a temple for my people in Jerusalem and let them be able to go up and worship. That's all. Those are my. Well, what's the word for that? That's what I want done. Okay, Cyrus. That's what I want done. He gave Cyrus. I wanted to implement that. I wanted to iterate that. He gave Cyrus reiterate that. He gave Cyrus the earth. Right? All he said was, listen, build a temple here to my people, the Israelites, so that they can go up and they can worship me. Not that Cyrus was worshiping anything different. Christ wouldn't have gave him a pass if he was worshiping anything different. See, at the end of the day, the commandments must be kept by all mankind. And as I said today, these other nations, whether they be Caucasian, no matter who they be, they automatically, in many cases, not all of them, especially here in America. Here in America is a different thing, because a lot of these white folk here, they take the lead. I'm going to get to that. But what I'm saying is they honor that. They follow the commandments 5 through 10. No, they don't believe in Yahusha, right? Because why? Because they refuse. Why? Because they don't love the truth. They don't want to believe in a black God. But they still honor their mother Nifat for the most part. Like I said, I'm not saying that these white people are perfect. I'm not saying that these Arab families and white families and Chinese families here in America are perfect. They're certainly not. Especially the ones in this generation. They all discombobulated, right? They're losing their footing, right? Satan is getting these cats, man. Okay? Satan is getting these children. I'm telling y'all, he don't really care if you're white, blue, black, green, or purple at the end of the day. He's coming to white Christian colleges, he's coming to white Christian schools, and he's teaching your white children atheism. They got atheists coming there, and they're called philosophy. These are people that they got their master's degree or PhD or whatever in philosophy, right? Philosophy is foolishness. Philosophy is utter foolishness. I'm saying it. And what? Philosophy is dumb. But many of you all want to be philosophers, right? It's all about what you think, right? Not what thus saith Yahuwah. It's all about what you think. It's all that matters to you. Okay? We're going to see. We're going to see what's really going to matter in the end. Okay? So, basically, that's one example. Now, I have a better example. Okay? And I could have chose Matthew, but I decided to choose Luke because many of you foolish people out there think that Luke is not canon. Let's go to Luke 7. Luke 7. One in the Old Testament, example in the Old Testament, then we're going to give an example in the New Testament. Luke 7, and we're going to read 1 through 10. Luke 7. Luke chapter 7, and we're going to read 1. Why would any of you not think that Luke is canon? I gave you all the benefit of the doubt to not think that Paul was canon, but to not think that Luke was canon is plain stupid. It's stupid. I can understand some of you slipping on Paul, but Luke? How so possible? Luke chapter 7. We're going to read 1 through 10. And it reads, Now, when he had ended all his sayings, who? Christ. When Christ had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum. And a certain centurion's servant. What was a centurion during the time of Christ? A centurion was a white Roman soldier. White, well, believe it or not, they had some Israelite soldiers too, but a centurion, this particular centurion that they're speaking of, was a white Roman soldier. A white Roman soldier. A Caucasian Roman soldier. A Caucasian Roman soldier. Okay? Who was dear unto him, was sick and ready to die. So, now, this centurion, okay, Christ entered into Capernaum. Okay, I believe he had some disciples with him. A servant of this centurion came to Christ and to his disciples and say, listen, I come in the name of such and such centurion, and he has a friend who is very close to him, who is sick and is ready to die. Once again, a servant of the Roman soldier, or better yet, he was a Roman leader, he was a commander, sent his servant to Christ and his apostles when they came into Capernaum and said, I have a dear friend. He sent the soldier to tell him that my commander, the centurion, has a dear friend that's sick and ill on his deathbed, and he's about to pass. Okay? Now, who was dear? Okay. And when he heard this, when he heard of Yahusha, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come to heal his servant. Bam. Now, when this commander, when this white Roman soldier, when this white Roman authority heard of Yahusha, he sent elders of the Jews. Why did he do that? You're gonna hear why. The centurion, this white Roman commander, sent the elders of black people, the believers and elders of black folks, to Christ and his apostles. The white man sent it when he heard of Yahusha. And he said, and in other words, begging, beseeching means to strongly ask or to advise, to beg him that he would come and heal his servant. Who is he talking to? He sent black people to Christ to beg Christ to come and heal a close soldier friend of his own. And when they came to Yahusha, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy of whom he should do this. Now, what did that mean? The Israelites were trying to convince Christ that this white man was worthy to help. The Israelite elders were attempting to convince Yahusha that this white man that sent them, this white Roman centurion that sent them, was worthy to be aided, to be assisted. Pay attention. Why was he worthy? For he loveth our nation, and he hath built us a synagogue. Now, there's no way to prove that you have compassion. I don't want to use the word love. Compassion. He apparently had compassion. Now, are you to walk around thinking that white folks are going to have compassion for you? Absolutely not. That's foolishness. They have to prove that in a very high deed in order for you to believe that. That's not something that you just go, I'm not reading this so you can say, oh, the white man. Don't be so stupid. Many of them, the majority of them, they hate us with a passion. Okay? Don't misconstrue my words. Don't misconstrue my message. Okay? Don't be foolish. All right? Be at high arms and have your antennas up all the time around white folks, as you should around Chinese people and Arab people and any other nation. Why? Because for the most part, they despise you. Why? Because of the truth. So don't misconstrue what I'm trying to say. Okay? However, what I am trying to say is With this white Roman soldier, he built a temple so that the Jews can go and worship. Here's how you know that he had true compassion. Because not only did he build a temple for the black people, he built a temple for the black people to go and worship their own God. He didn't build the temple so we can worship Jesus. He didn't build the temple so we can worship any other God. He built the temple so we could worship our own God. Isn't that what Cyrus did in the Old Testament? Now that is compassion. Unless you see a white person or any other person of any nation do that, keep your antennas up. Unless they risk their life for you, risk their life for your children, unless they speak up for Revelations 1:14 and 15 consistently and until death or until almost death, then you keep your antennas up. But there are some that will do this. Not many, but some. Okay? This does not mean, all white people are great. No. This does not mean the Chinese man is a great man. That's not what it means. Okay? Now, then Yahusha went with them, and when he was now not far from the house. So he's on his way to where? To the centurion's house, to the white Roman commander's house. And when he was not far from the house, the centurion sends friends to him, saying unto him, Master. The centurion's friends called Christ Master. So in other words, let me say that in layman terms. Some white men, a group of white men, came to Yahusha and called him Master. Trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter my roof. They came to say to Christ, Master, don't trouble yourself. Listen carefully, because you need to understand what's going on here. The white Roman commander soldier sent his friends, told Christ, while he was close to the house, don't come, you're not worthy. We're not worthy for you to come into our house. They didn't want him to come all the way. They wanted to stop him halfway. Why? Because they didn't want him to come all the way there. Why? Because they called him Master. Okay? So they said, look, we're going to meet him halfway here. Right? Why? Because what we need him to do, he don't got to be nowhere around to do it. Listen, I want y'all to pay attention. Okay? Pay attention. Pay attention. He say, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come out to thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. For then he's going to say, for I am also a man. I also am a man set under authority, having under me. Okay, so he came with his friends. So this is the centurion talking to Christ. Having under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, go, and he goeth, and to another, come, and he cometh, and to my servant, do this, and he doeth it. Now, so the centurion now comes to Christ. Damn, so he didn't even let Christ come. The centurion, this is the white Roman commander. He said, I'm not going to let the master come all the way to my house, because my house is not worthy for him. Why? Because he knows that Christ's house is far greater than his house, right? Christ's house is in the Shamayim, it's in the heavens. Of what temple can a man build for Christ on this planet? Right? That's the scriptures, right? Of what temple can you build for me with your hands? Right? So he knew that he himself, nor his house was great enough Plus, he didn't want to make the master walk all the way to his house. So he met him halfway, or probably further than, So he said, listen, basically now I'm paraphrasing. He says, look, man, I got soldiers under me, and I can tell the soldier to go do this and tell him to go do that, and he doeth it, right? So what is he saying there? He knows that Christ is a commander. So he not only knows that Christ is a commander, but he may have a suspicion of who he truly is, a suspicion of his identity. And you niggas today don't believe. But wait, I'm not done. So basically he's trying to say, listen, Christ, you don't even have to, I know who you are. You don't have to come to my house. Just snap your fingers, wink your eyes, think about it, and I know that nigga's going to be healed. Well, excuse me, I know that white person, my friend, is going to be made whole. He's going to be made whole, which means he's going to be healed. He's going to be back to health. So if you would just kindly do that for me now, I want you to understand something. That's faith. That's belief. No, that's a trustee, a white man. Not only, he wasn't an ordinary white man. That's the catch-22. He was of the Roman soldiers, the Roman army that crucified and persecuted, and that crucified Christ on the stake. He was of the army. He was of the army of Caesar. When Yahusha heard these things, he marveled at him, meaning, what? Now, he already knew. But he marveled and turned him about and said unto the people that followed him, he said unto black people, the people that were following him were black people. So he heard this white Roman soldier come to him, probably bowed most likely, got on his knees, called him, if he called him master, he bowed to him. And says, look, I know what you're capable of doing. I know that you are over the armies of heaven. Why? Because I read the scriptures. I know that you are the Malach Yahuwah. You are the angel of the Lord. You are him in the flesh. You are Yah in the flesh. I know who you are. Go and heal my soldier for me, please, if you be so kind. When Yahusha heard these things, he marveled at him and turned about to the niggas that was following him and said, I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel, no, not amongst black people, no, not amongst niggas. Not amongst you niggas. You're so quick to put your own selves on pedestals and put other people on pedestals, and you're so quick to sing that gang bang rap. You're so quick to glorify jail and the streets and all of these things, but you don't believe in your Elohim. You want to envy one another, but you don't say shit to the Ku Klux Klan. Why don't any of you get on social media and call out the Ku Klux Klan? How come you don't do that? Do you know how they feel about you all? Do you know how they feel about me and you and your children? Do any of you believe in the Ku Klux Klan? You do believe in them, right? You do know that their hatred is real, right? Their hatred goes back. A lot of these niggas got demons in them. They coexist with devils, dog. And if they catch your black ass out on the road, they're going to do far more to you than shoot you. How come y'all don't get on the internet and talk shit about them? How come y'all don't talk about them in your raps? Because you're heathen at heart. Because many of you niggas are heathens. And you don't believe in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I say unto you, I have not found so great a white Roman soldier. Now, and you got to understand the magnitude of this white Roman soldier's faith. The magnitude of it. He said, what is that, the Christ? That's him that was prophesied in the Old Testament. So he was a believer of the Old Testament. Why? Because the New Testament was being written. It didn't exist yet. So that Roman soldier was knowledgeable of the Old Testament. He knew of the forthcomings of Christ and the prophecies of the set apart one, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Messiah. That Roman soldier, that white Roman soldier, already knew about all of those things, and he believed. But he wasn't just a mustard seed. He said he met out, he came, bowed to him. Said, Master, look here, look, man, don't even stress yourself. My house is not worthy enough for you. I know where you from. I know what you run. You run the heavens. My house is not good enough for you. But I tell you what, listen, I'm not even trying to take much of your time. I'm not trying to stress you out. I made this synagogue here for your people so they can come and worship you. And I'm just asking you, listen, I got a man that's on the deathbed. He's a very close man to me. He's been with me in battle and all of these things against the Greeks or whatever or whatnot. He's hurt. He's in pain. He's about to die. Listen, man, if you just so humbly take care of that for me, thank you. Bam. Christ turned around and said, you niggas don't believe like that. Let's move on. Let's go to the third segment. This is the last segment. And this segment is called Set Apart. Let's go to the third segment. This is the last segment. And this segment is called Set Apart. Revelations. Let's start at Revelations 18. We're going to read down to verse 8. Revelations. Let's go to the scroll of Revelations. Chapter 18. We're going to read down to verse 8. Pay attention. This message is titled Heathen. And this last segment, the third segment, is titled Set Apart. Now, what does it mean to be set apart? Remember what I told once again. I know I have to keep saying them over and over again. Why? Because many of you don't care. You go back to living your life in the matrix and none of this matters to you. You know? Remember, the word holy means to be set apart. It means to be separated. To separate yourself from the customs of the other nations. To separate yourself from those whom are heathens. And you can separate yourself from your own people whom are heathens too. Because some of your own people may follow the customs of the other nations. Or even more so, they may even be believers in themselves. They may think that them themselves are gods. They may be 5%ers. They may be with the Kemetic community. They whatever. They may be one of these Instagram personalities. There's many Instagram personalities that portray many false things. Right? So, you never know. Right? So, anybody can be a heathen. Right? Now, Revelations chapter 18, and we're going to read. We're going to read down to verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Now, I don't want that to go over your head. Okay? So this is what's a prophecy is. What's going to happen sooner than most people think. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, this year, next year, year after next. Right? But I don't want you all to get too relaxed. Because, you know, things are going to start moving very rapidly. We're going to start moving into the future very rapidly. Okay? Now, things are going to change. Now, I'm not saying the end is now, because we still have a lot of things that have to unravel. But we're going to start seeing some major changes that's going to make a lot of people uneasy and a lot of people uncomfortable. And these things are coming down the pike. So, he's going to say Babylon the great is fallen. Who's Babylon the Great? America. Well, it's the beast system. So it's not just America. It's also some other things, okay? Some other places on earth that are in cahoots with the beast system, with the new world order. One world order, whatever you want to call it. That's that they're ushering in at rapid speed, right? A lot of it has to do with artificial intelligence and things of that nature, right? So it says Babylon is fallen. And this is we're talking. It says Babylon is fallen, it's become a habitation of devils. And a hold, meaning a stronghold for every foul spirit, and unclean and hateful birds. So they're talking about that there's going to be, spiritual things must be spiritually discerned. But whenever I use that word spiritual, spiritual, ruach, Holy Ghost, all of those things, I hate to say Holy Ghost because it sounds corny. I hate the English language, but I speak it for the most part, right? But all of these things, right? Hold up.